In our last film, we saw how stop action worked. Now, in this next film, we will see how another popularized filmmaking style comes to life. In the late 1950s, Rod Serling established a style of filmmaking that combines both suspense with surrealism. The Twilight Zone is a good example of this style, making plot twists, the unexpected, and surprise endings. In our next film, I Dare Ya, Rick Joel Carter uses many of the same devices employed by Rod Serling, but definitely he has a style all his own. The film's cast is made up of children. The use of children as actors in a film can greatly increase the chances for popularity, but as any mother can tell you, children are not always the easiest to direct. Let's see how Rick Joel Carter does this in I Dare Ya.
You're scared. I am not. R2. Am not. R2. I dare ya. No way. Dares are for wimps. You're scared. See, I told you he wouldn't do it. I'm not scared. It's just stupid to ring a doorbell and run. No, you're just scared of the house, just because it's spooky looking. I'm not as scared of that old house. Then do you believe the stories that Mr. Johnson is a boogeyman? No way! That's just a story made up to scare kids. I don't believe that stuff. Danny did it a few minutes ago. He was scared too, but he did it. I'll show you who's scared of that old house. Get sucked in? That was excellent. Totally. That makes it 6 now. No. Sean was 5. Nuh-uh. Sean was 6. Danny was number 5. I remember these 6. I'm sure he was number 5. Who's coming? Hey, Susie.
Dare Ya, we saw how combining suspense with a little humor, we can achieve a profound impact on the viewer. Humor has always been a very important part of filmmakers' tools. With humor, we can take a very sensitive and controversial subject and make it more palatable for the viewing audience. Animated cartoons often use humor to make very special social statements, as you will see in our upcoming film by Craig Foltz and Jeff Pefferly. It's called Levi's, and we have Craig Foltz here to tell us a little bit about the film.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the animated film process? I understand that there are several different types, and what type did you use?
Well, there's anything you can think of, there's probably a way you can devise doing an animation film form of it. One of the most popular forms is cellular animation, and that's with paint and clear acetate cells. What I did, I worked with pencil and paper animation, where I worked a white sheet of paper and I colored the pencil drawings right onto the paper. The disadvantage of that is that with cellular animation, you draw one background and then you overlay your characters over that background. What I had to do was for every shot redraw the background and any non-essential changes in the shot over from every frame. So this work got real time consuming in a way.
I can well imagine that, but I'm sure the final product is an excellent one.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, all right, here it is. The animated short by Craig Foltz and Jeff Pefferly, Levi's.
Levi's. Ew, Levi's. Levi Strauss, because he who laughs last, laughs best.
Animated films are so entertaining. Why don't we see more of them?
Well, unlike most films, animation films, this is a lesson I learned after the fact, have to be done by the artist. The writer-director should also be the main artist for the film. I don't draw. I can't draw anything, and I can't color. I wrote the idea, and I begged people to do my artwork for me. And the artwork was designed by Larry Tamayasu, and but 90% of the artwork was finally had to have been done by my girlfriend. She did most of the artwork. She colored for 9 months on the film.
9 months. Oh, how did you decide to make this animated film in the first place?
It just came from the background with Levi's. I read in an article that where designer jeans were once really popular, the sales had gone way down, and Levi's were back in the top of sales again. And I thought that was real funny, and I thought I could show that in a film. And the animated film kind of grew out of the humor of what the people.
I know you mentioned that it took 9 months to film the whole process. What all was involved in that process?
we used almost 3,000 cells on the thing.
3,000?
3,000 for 2 minutes, and a lot of them were finally not used in the drawings. There were scenes that were not used, and each cell takes about 3 hours to prepare. And you multiply that by 3,000 cells. That's a lot of work. The coloring itself could take up to anywhere between an hour and 2 hours to color, and that's what my fiance did all the time. She colored and for 9 months from September to April. And I've got some here.
Oh, why don't you go ahead and show our audience?
Now this is what the pencil and paper cells look like on white paper, and excuse me for a minute. This is what they look like, and this would be a shot with them going left to right with their heads turning. Another one would be right here. Now this is what's called a cycle, and I'll have 6 drawings in there with this hand going to the ground and back up, and I'll just film that forwards and backwards. And this is an example of a more complicated cycle where every one of their feet at the end of 10 drawings have to be set up for drawing number 1. So it's cyclical in what we do, and I'll just go 1 through 10, then back 1 through 10, back 1 through 10, and just the bricks move by them. That's it.
As you're talking about the cycle process, is this something that you do in order to save a little time, and how exactly does that work?
Well, some scenes can take as many as 90 drawings for for just a couple second shot,
90?
and some shots, the length has nothing to do with how many drawings are in it. If it's a cycle where you can get away with just a movement like that, then you can get away with as few as 6 drawings or something like that.
During the course of making it, were there any problems that you encountered?
Yeah, we had one really big problem. We did everything in pencil, and since our production was surrounded by a change in the year, Prismacolor pencils came out with a new line of pencils and discontinued a color of green that we had been using halfway through the film. And so we had to get a hold of dealers and see if they had any of that color left. And up until the last couple of months, we had to change the color of green we were using.
In the middle? Oh my God.
Yeah, most people nobody notices it really, but me and my fiance Tina, she notices it, I think, worse than anyone else.
Well, it's your baby. I can imagine you would know every little
Yeah.
movement of the whole production. How did you come up with the funding, especially if you're doing this over 9 months, and also with all the materials?
Two big sources of money. One was from my parents, and the main source was from a friend of mine, Jeff Pefferly, who funded a lot of the money for it.
With regards to that, I know you mentioned that using all the different pencils, was there a lot of money involved?
Yeah, a
in
lot
that?
of money. We spent $1,000 on artwork, and most of that was in pencils, and easily a couple $100 was in just green pencils.
Great.
Yeah,
Well, we're going to have to pause for a moment. We'll be right back with Craig Foltz and our final award-winning film right after this.
College. Now there's a new and exciting way to earn college credits. College credit courses on television bring you a world of learning. You can work toward a college degree in your own home. It's convenient. You'll save time and money and still earn full college credit. Get ahead by watching television. Enroll now. Give yourself some credit.